Innovations in Biology and Technology, Human-Caused Global Climate Change by Isabella Romo. The purpose of this presentation is to inform the viewer on what causes climate change, emphasize the impact climate change has on humans and animals alike, as well as describe ways in which we can improve current conditions in an effort to slow the impact of climate change. In order to understand climate change, we must first understand the greenhouse effect. Climate change is a result of the greenhouse effect. NASA describes the greenhouse effect as the process through which heat is trapped near Earth's surface by substances known as greenhouse gases. These substances include, but are not limited to, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and even water vapor. Solar radiation can enter into the Earth's atmosphere. However, these gases trap the majority of the radiation inside the atmosphere and cause global temperatures to rise. Carbon has a natural life cycle in which it moves between the atmosphere, water, land, and living organisms. Carbon in the atmosphere is absorbed by plants or wetlands. The plants are then consumed by animals and humans and turned into waste. Waste is decomposed by fungi and bacteria, which then transfers the carbon into the ground. Here, carbon is formed into fossils, oil, and gas. From there, carbon can be passed on through several avenues, such as burning of oil and gas, which then emits carbon back into the atmosphere, or carbon is absorbed into bodies of water. Now that we're familiar with the carbon cycle, we understand how long it takes for fossil fuels to be formed. Fossil fuels are being burned and therefore emitted into the atmosphere at a much faster rate than it can naturally be reabsorbed or replaced in the earth. This imbalance disrupts the carbon cycle by having larger carbon levels in the atmosphere at a time. In order to overcome this bottleneck, we would have to plant trees at the same rate that we burn fossil fuels. This ratio is inconceivable, so that means that fuel consumption outweighs production, creating a never-ending cycle unless we intervene. The ecological effects of climate change have become more noticeable than ever before. The rise in ocean temperatures is destroying ecosystems. This is demonstrated in coral reefs, as higher than normal water temperatures are bleaching them, therefore destroying oceanic wildlife habitats and disrupting food chains, possibly causing a negative impact on populations. Additionally, glaciers are melting, leading to a rise in sea levels globally. This rise threatens coastal areas through the destruction of wetlands, limiting inhabitable land, and even farmlands. As our planet's population continues to climb, this can mean that we will be facing overcrowding coupled with limited resources in our future. There are also many biological effects of climate change on mankind. The majority of these effects are due to severe weather changes associated with climate change, such as more frequent tornadoes, hurricanes, wildfires, and increased temperatures. Tornadoes and hurricanes can lead to loss of homes, belongings, and even loved ones. Distress like this can lead to a decline in mental health and cause long-term mental health conditions like depression. Additionally, wildfire smoke contains carbon monoxide that is poisonous to humans, as well as tiny particles of burned materials. Collectively, wildfires can create long-term respiratory conditions and even death. Finally, there has been an influx of heat-related illnesses that correlates to the increased temperatures worldwide. Now, what can we do to help reduce the effects of climate change? Well, there are many technological advances that have been created to tackle that very feat. Technologies such as renewable energy sources, like solar, hydro, wind, and nuclear power. Transitioning from non-renewable to renewable sources globally can't happen overnight. However, a gradual change is necessary, and slow progress is still progress. Another large technological advancement is the utilization of fully electric cars. Switching from gas to electric cars has become commonplace in large cities and has made astonishing improvements in the way of emission reduction. I don't believe we will see full eradication of gas cars in our lifetime, and this is largely due to how expensive the technology is. However, the focus that has been created on lowering transportation emissions has significantly slowed the production of greenhouse gases. There are also many things we can begin practicing in our everyday life to reduce our carbon footprint. Some healthy habits include using public transportation, unplugging appliances while not in use, switching to energy efficient light bulbs, and recycling. While public transportation isn't always accessible, even choosing to walk or ride a bike when given the chance can go a long way. Also, recycling is a simple task that has a very large impact. This is because reusing materials that have already been manufactured means there are less wasted resources. In conclusion, climate change is a very real issue we are all facing. From rising temperatures to extreme weather conditions, there are many long-term effects, both ecological and biological, that are slowly becoming part of our new normal. It is important that we all do our part now to reduce our carbon footprint and improve our environmental standing.